guys, James here with another video, and today is kind of a twofer. If you're new here, I'd just like to talk about web development on this channel. We're going to be doing a couple things today. I'm going to show you something called Content Grid. It's a feature of Automatic CSS, which is a CSS framework for WordPress. That portion is going to be very quick and easy because it just is quick and easy. So there's not a lot to show, really. It's a couple clicks of a button, and it's going to do something really cool. And then once I've shown you that, we're just going to go ahead and turn this little marquee widget that I made into a component, so that so that you can do component things. If you know what a component is, you know what I'm talking about. You can drop a component anywhere, and then usually there's some props that you can use to kind of modify each instance of that component. So that's what we're going to do. And so what I did is I created kind of a fun layout that requires using this content grid feature that I'm going to show you. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like, and you're going to look at it and think, oh, wow, you're going to wonder in your brain, how would somebody go about doing that? Well, if you're going to go about doing it with just vanilla CSS, it's going to be a big pain in the butt. I don't even think I could figure out how to do it, honestly, at least not the right way. I mean, you can always do just about anything you want with absolute positioning, right? But I don't think I could even figure out how to do it properly. So that's just one of the many benefits of using a framework like Automatic CSS, is it makes the layout that I'm about to show you incredibly easy to recreate, and it creates it properly. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. So here's the layout. So it's just a little scrolling list of logos that on the left-hand side of the screen, it is respecting our content width, but then it's spilling over off the edge of the screen, which is, maybe you're looking at that and you're thinking it looks kind of simple, but to actually accomplish that is kind of a pain in the butt with vanilla CSS. And so I'm using something called Content Grid with Automatic CSS to make this happen. So I'm going to show you how I created this, just the fact that it's spilling off the side of the page, and then I'm going to turn this thing into a component. So the first thing you have to do is you have to make sure that your section has the class of Content Grid. All that does is it basically just turns on, as Kevin calls it, some superpowers. It doesn't actually even change the look of your layout. If you just add a section and you dump some content in there, and then you add the class of Content Grid, it doesn't actually change anything visually, but it changes some things technically. And it allows you to do some stuff like what I'm about to do. So once you've given this section the class of Content Grid, then you can come over here to this container and just add these two little lines here. Okay, first of all, you have to make the container display grid. And then you just do grid column content start. And that is basically the left edge of your content width, right? And then full. So this is just saying this particular element, this container div, needs to start at the normal place where it would normally start anyways, content start, and then it needs to go full width of the screen instead of ending content end. Now I'm just guessing if I put, I didn't even try this, content end. Yeah. This is basically the default. Everything normally does this anyways. It starts at the start of your content width and it ends at the end of your content width, right? So this is the default. I could probably comment this out and it's going to look exactly the same because that's just the normal behavior, okay? But you come in here and instead of content end, you say full. Now suddenly it stretches all the way to the edge of the screen. So like I said, pretty quick and easy. That's not the main part of this video, because it's just that quick and easy. There's not really much more to talk about with regards to that. I mean, you could go check out their documentation and kind of see how it works. If you inspect the page, you'll kind of see the superpowers. If you just hover over a section, you notice those lines, those vertical lines. I can't really point to it because it requires me coming off of this element here, but you can see on the left and right side of our section here, there's these little vertical lines. And there's names for those zones. If you look at Automatic CSS's documentation, you can see what those names are. And the name all the way to the end, the area that goes all the way from the left edge of the screen to the right edge of the screen, that's called Content Grid Full or something like that. It's something full. And so that's where we got the full from in our thing. The lines where you can see right now where our marquee starts and stops right now, that's the content width. That's the content width start, content width end, whatever. But if, like I said, look at the documentation. It tells you what all those, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, basically 4 content areas. They each have a name and they can each be used in the way that we just used full, right? So I probably should actually just show you the documentation. Let's just go look at the documentation. It's probably in layout, content grid. Does this take you to the docs? Yeah, here we go. These are the zones I was talking about, right? So we used the full width zone. It's just called full. Content width, that's your normal content width. And so there's content width start, content width end. This will fly out of my face. But there's all these different zones that can be used. Once you give this section the class of content grid, then suddenly you have all these zones to play with. Okay. So it just makes it very easy to do these things that would normally take a lot of work to do if you're just trying to type it out with some vanilla CSS. And then you'd probably, if you're like me, you'd probably end up doing it just a dumb, hacky, not proper way. And so this makes it easy and makes sure that it's being done properly. So now let's turn this bad boy into a component. And you're like, why would we turn it into a component? Well, there's a couple things you might want to, first of all, let's put it back to our fun layout. There's at least 2 things I can think of right off the bat that you may want to modify with this, okay? First thing is maybe you want to change which direction it's scrolling. Right now it's scrolling right to left. Maybe you want it to scroll left to right. That's one thing you might want to change, like on a case-by-case basis. You might drop this on one page and you want it to scroll left. You might put it on another page and you want it to scroll right. And you don't want to have to create 2 whole separate components or widgets or whatever you want to call it. It's going to be so much better if you just have one component and you can drop it and then you can choose left or right. The other thing you might want to adjust is the speed that it's scrolling. So we're going to turn this into a component and we're going to make it very easy to choose the direction that it's scrolling. And I'm not going to get into how I created this because I used AI. I mean, I just went to AI, told it what I wanted it to do, and it did it. And it took a little bit of back and forth. In fact, Grok got me most of the way there, and it just couldn't figure out how to change it easily left to right. I literally took all my code, went to ChatGPT, said, here's my code, here's what I want it to do. And in one single prompt, it fixed it. So sometimes it helps because I think AI can get tunnel vision sometimes. And sometimes I think it helps if you're getting stuck trying to get AI to do something and it's just not quite figuring it out. Take all your code to another AI or maybe even just another chat of the same. I probably could have just opened a separate chat in Grok, but I just wanted to try something different. Took it to ChatGPT and it figured it out in one prompt. I had already tried like 10 prompts to fix this issue with Grok and it just wasn't working. So just little AI advice. It helps sometimes to, don't just use one AI, and say, oh, this is the best one, because every week they're leapfrogging each other. Claude's the best one, then Grok's the best one, then ChatGPT's the best one. They're all pretty close. Sometimes it helps to just switch back and forth. Anywho, that's what I did to create this marquee thing. So there's just a bunch of some HTML. It gave me the JavaScript, right? Here's the JavaScript. Just dump that in there. And then there's some styling. So you won't have to worry about all that stuff. All you have to worry about is the images that you're using. And right now it's all just static. We will turn this into a loop, actually. Another bonus part of this video is you're going to see me creating a loop. But let's actually do that part first. So what I did ahead of time is I created a JSON loop right here. It's about as simple as you can get with a JSON loop. There's just one key, URL, and it's the URL of the image. I didn't want to make you sit there and watch me copy and paste these, but these are just images that I uploaded to the media. It's the same images that you see here, but I took the relative URL and dumped it into a JSON object that we can loop through. Okay. So instead of hard coding all these, what we're going to do is delete all but one. And then we're going to right click and choose wrap in loop. And for the loop, we're going to choose that loop I just created. And then for the image source, instead of this hard coded URL, oh my gosh, I do hate this sometimes. Got to be careful not to, there we go. Curly bracket, item dot URL, curly bracket. Why item? Because that's just what the loop is right there. I don't know why it just unselected. Did I do something wrong? Okay, hold on. What's going on? There it is. So you can see it's working because we got our images there. I don't understand. Oh, turns out you actually have to give it a loop key. Logo marquee. It helps to not be an idiot. There we go. Now that's showing. Everything is right in the world. And so it's very simple. It's just pulling in item.url. This is item. And this is .url. We could change this to logo. Now it breaks. We come in here, change item to logo if we wanted to, and now it's working again. All right. Pretty simple. This is not a very complex loop at all. You can have more keys here if you wanted to, but for this, we don't need them. So we've already got a working loop now. That's it. And if we ever need to add another image, we can come in here after we upload the image to the media library. All we have to do is grab this, do a little copy paste, and then update this with whatever the new logo URL is, right? I'm told that someday there's going to be like a UI for this, so that'll be cool. But for now, it's not that hard to type in a little JSON. And if the JSON's getting a little too complicated, AI is really good at writing JSON, so you can use AI to help. But for this, you probably won't need it. It's very simple, just a single key with the URL, and it will loop through and put them in there. And the JavaScript and all that, it as you can see, it's just an endless loop. So once it hits the last image, it just starts over with the first image, and it just goes on like this forever and ever and ever. So it's not a component yet, but it is a loop. So it just makes things a little bit easier, makes the HTML a little cleaner because we only have one in here to deal with, and it's just going to loop through however many we have in the JSON object. So now that we've done that, we are going to turn this into a component. Now, part of that task is already complete. And if we look at the HTML here, you're going to see that we have two data attributes in here, data speed and data direction. Okay, so I'm going to change this to right, and I'm going to change this to 5. Okay, save that, refresh. Look at that. Now it's going to the right, and it is, ooh, that's a bug. Haha, I found a bug. I will fix that off camera. When it's scrolling to the right, it doesn't do the continuous loop like it's supposed to. But when you're going left, it does. Probably an easy fix. Maybe I'll try to fix that at the end of this video, and you can watch. We'll see how that goes. But as you can see, for the most part, the data attributes are working. It is controlling which direction it spins, and it is controlling the speed. So all we have to do is turn that into a nice, easy UI because you don't want, even if you're a developer, you don't want to have to be coming in here every time and updating this. And especially if you're not a developer, if you have, maybe you just have someone kind of helping you out, updating websites, or maybe you're letting a client do stuff, you want it to be a lot easier for them, right? So let's go ahead and we'll leave the section and container out of it. We're just going to choose this, right click, component. And we're going to add a prop. And I think we're going to do a select prop for the direction. So we'll say scroll direction. And our options are left lowercase, right lowercase. I don't think, it may or may not matter. I don't know. But I think JavaScript is looking for lowercase. So we'll just do that. And we'll add another prop, just a regular old text prop. And we'll say scroll speed. We'll let the default be 1. And we'll save. And then we're going to come down here to logo marquee where it says data speed. And instead of just hard coding a number 5 in there, we're going to go curly bracket props, because this is a prop, dot scroll speed. So kind of similar to what we did in the loop a minute ago, right? And then instead of hard coding left, we're going to say curly bracket props dot scroll direction. Save, exit. That's it. That took me, 30 seconds maybe? Right click, create component, create a couple props, map the props to the data attributes, and we're done. Now here we can choose right, and here we can type 5. Save, and we can come look at our broken marquee. The component part is working. It's scrolling to the right, and it's going nice and fast. Let's come back here, change it back to left, and let's say 0.5. This should be pretty slow. Yep, now it's going left, and it's really slow. So the thing is, you can drop this component. In fact, marquee wrapper. So this one is going left 0.5. Let's make this one go right 10. I don't even know how fast you can go with this. Let's just see what happens. Because this isn't using a library. This is just vanilla JavaScript that the AI bot came up with. So look at that. The first one, same exact component, but this one is moving to the left very slowly. This one is moving to the right very quickly. So that's the power of components, first of all. Now, let's go ahead and see if we can't fix this bug. Let me grab my ChatGPT and let's see if I can explain this properly. Okay. It's mostly working. The only issue is that if you choose to have it scroll left to right, the logos do not scroll in a continuous manner. Let's say there are 5 images. It will scroll those 5 images, then it will be blank. Will all 5 images finish scrolling? Then it starts over. If it's scrolling right to left, it scrolls continuously as you would expect. So the issue is only when scrolling left to right. Let's see what it does. It's going to be very confident. We already know that. I kind of like how it shows you what it's thinking, even though I normally don't know what it's talking about. But it's just kind of fun to watch it think. All right, good. I was hoping that it would just be a matter of the JavaScript and I wasn't going to have to do any fancy CSS conditionals or anything. So let's edit our component. And the cool thing about this, again, the benefit of it being a component, I just have to edit this once and then it will fix every component that's everywhere on the website, right? Oh, except I want to drop this JavaScript on the marquee wrapper inside the component. Instead of, previously I had it up here. Ooh, is that? I don't know. We'll see. I think I want to keep this, so I'm just going to comment all of it out instead of deleting it. AI really likes comments, and they're usually not helpful comments. All right, let's comment that out for now. See how broken it is. Yeah, I don't think it gave me. I don't think it gave me the right JavaScript. Function start. Where is that? Where was that in the, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Here is my current JavaScript. Give me the entire revised version. Probably should have just done this to begin with, but since it just gave me that JavaScript up here, oh, there it is. There's the function start. Why didn't I see that? So that it was just trying to replace this part of it. I just have, oh yeah, it's right there. I'm just blind. I looked for that. I looked for it. Couldn't find it. All right, so this is the new part. But we'll just go ahead and copy this whole thing. It's giving me a bunch of dumb comments again. Thanks for that, AI. All right. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about this. Let's edit our component. Get all of our JavaScript in there. Look at that. It's scrolling and it's properly scrolling continuously just like we want. So boom, you got a bunch of stuff in this video. You got to see the power of Content Grid and how it very easily let us create this kind of crazy layout. You got to watch me create a component. You got to watch me create a loop. You got to watch me use AI to fix a bug. Good video. I like this video. I'm just looking at this, wondering to myself, like, is there any other things we could do? I can't think of any other things that we might want to control other than the direction and the speed. So let's also take a look, see how it's very responsive. It still always lines up with our content width on the left. So the rest of our website is in this, this container, and this is always on the left side here. It's always going to match up with the rest of the website. And then on the right side, it's going to spill over off the screen like we wanted to get this effect. So very cool, man. If you guys aren't using a smart CSS framework, then you're just wasting a lot of time, honestly, typing a bunch of code that you don't have to type. And you could be saving yourself a lot of time. And if you're like me, you're also, like, I couldn't do this without the CSS framework. So, using something like Automatic CSS allows me to not only do things that I do know how to do faster, but it allows me to do things that I wouldn't even be able to do at all otherwise. So, anyways, that's it. If you're interested in Etch, which is the environment that I've been working in here, that's what this builder is. If you're interested in Etch or you're interested in Automatic CSS is what allows me to do the content grid stuff there. There are affiliate links in the comment section or in the description of this video. Check those out. Otherwise, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.